Yeah, good morning, everybody. We're trying to write a metrics bot today. Did any of you attend the metrics talk on the first day? You did? Okay, because that was a really nice introduction to metrics. If you haven't seen that, maybe you should check that out too. Because I only have a small slide about metrics in general, but yeah, we'll concentrate on the bots today. You should all start with, thank you. Scan the QR code or join our metrics room, and there's also some introductions on the next slide to install most of the stuff. So I'll do the introduction, and you should, if you can, already start to prepare, because it could take a while. Yeah, so first, I would like to get your accounts. Usually, everybody's on metrics.org, but if you have your own home server or not, you can just get an account. You should get 2 accounts probably, one for yourself if you haven't one, and one for your bot. And you have to probably install some kind of Python ID. I use VSCodium or VSCode, whatever you like. You can do it in a text editor, whatever you like. There's in the metrics room, there's also the instructions how to set everything up, but we will do that together later anyway. This is us. I'm part of the Ubuntu Metrics Council, and I helped setting up most of the rooms and spaces and help everybody get on board with that. So far it's been a great experience. We are also linked with many other projects like Fedora and Mozilla and KDE. That was really helpful to get us started. So I started with the Ubuntu support room before all that happened on metrics. And then I think someone from the community council joined and said, hey, you already do this, want to help us? No, so I did. In my normal job, I'm a system administrator / programmer / whatever. That's my background because I like to script and code and set up infrastructure. So it's my thing.
And on my side, I'm Grégory. So I'm working for Canonical since October 2022, I think. I joined Canonical as an architect in a Juju team. So basically, we're writing operators using the Juju framework. And I've been involved in the Matrix community operator for Canonical to operate the Synapse servers and provide Matrix for the community. And in this context, I've also been working on the operators for Discourse, Indico, so all the tools that we provide to the community. And when the Matrix Council started the elections, I said, yeah, why not? I've been involved pretty much into the Matrix one. Been working with Nils, setting up everything. So I joined the Matrix Council. And it's been quite interesting experience so far. Lately, you probably know, but we faced quite ugly spam attacks on it. And the bots played a very important role here. Thanks to Nils and his work, we've been able to quickly react and implement new rules on the bots to preventively, reactively block the spam attacks. Member of the Matrix Council. Otherwise, I'm in the Linux world for more than 20 years, worked with Debian, Gentoo, Ubuntu, and many more. Always worked with Linux, never touched the Windows. So that's me.
Yeah, and we're really happy to have him for the infrastructure stuff, because if something's going wrong, you can just call for him and he will fix it. That's always nice to have. This is any experience with using metrics as a user here, or not? Yeah, nothing. Yeah, okay. Do you? I know you do, but okay. Okay, metrics is the open standard federated chat protocol. This is really just a few things. If you want to get to know metrics in depth, I really recommend Matthew's talk from the first day. It was an awesome talk about how the status of metrics is now and how it will be next year. Yeah, basically Matrix is open, and Matrix is only the protocol, and there are a few clients like Element and some others. So Matrix is available on almost all kinds of devices. It's used not only as a chat protocol, you can do voice over IP over it, and I think some augmented reality stuff is going on there too.
And we also learned on Monday that it can do IoT messaging. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
It can do IoT messaging, but that makes sense because Matrix is based on, it's an event mechanism. So the server receives events and dispatch events and react to events. And you'll see that the bot is more or less the same. The bot gets events, react to events, and send back events.
Good point. I think that's on the next slide. Yes. Here we go. Because maybe you know it from other things like, I don't know, some Teams or Slack or whatever, where you can just put webhooks in and you get some notifications in your chat. That works too in Matrix because Matrix is basically HTTP. So you can use just curl or any other post and just send messages to your rooms. And that works fine for a lot of things, but it's kind of one way. So the bot can only send messages, but you can't react to it. The bot can't. I think so. So this is where the real bots like Maubot comes in. So that's really interactive. So it's right. Doesn't matter. Well, it can be dynamically react to anything. You can include external services and so on. So we'll get into that today. It has a really nice plugin system with a web interface where you can really dynamically update, upload, check all the plugins you're running on your bot. It can run multiple bots in one interface, so it's really nice to play around with. Yeah, and it is the access control thing. Yeah, it works. You can add some users, but to be honest, I only have one user at the moment. But yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that's Ubuntu is our main bot for the Ubuntu community. I started that first. I started as a clone of the IOC version. Has anyone been on IOC with Ubuntu? Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, I just took this name, kind of cloned a lot of the code, actually because it was Python 2, so that was easy to do. And I started just putting the main features in there, like the factoids. You can put a command and it gives you a predefined answer, but I also added some nice Matrix-related stuff. Maybe we can get to that later. Yeah, there's a basic RSS plugin where you can just add your feeds to your room, and if you're a moderator, you can just get RSS. Yeah, then there's a feature like what is the time in any city in the world, because usually Ubuntu is very international and you never know what time it is for the other guy, and you can just ask the bot, hey, what's actually his time zone and when should we meet? So that can be kind of useful. It also has access to the whole Ubuntu package repository. So you can ask any package name and it will give you the version of any distribution name or release name of Ubuntu. And because I actually had to, because as Grégory said, we had some spam attacks going on, I actually had to implement my own some kind of anti-spam features there. That's kind of a work in progress, but I think so far for the stuff we had, it worked pretty okay. Yeah, there's also another kind of bot, but that's not related to this bot for anti-spam. Well, yeah, I will get the code for that later after we have set up your simple test bot. So, but we can look at the code for this stuff. Maybe you can implement that for yourself then too. Yeah, but that's all the talking I wanted to do actually. Code again and all the links. And we will help you set up if you have any questions or problems with this. And that was it for me, really. And we'll start the workshop.
So if you have any question, raise your hand. I pass by the room. I think what Nils you can do is do the exercise.
Yeah, I will
in parallel.
Get you started here.
So
yeah.
Don't hesitate to ask any questions. We're there to support you.
Oh, okay. Some of you already made it, I see, so it's fine.
We really recommend you creating a second account on matrix.org for the bot, not using your main user, so you have two users, one for the bot, one for yourself. You can chat with your bot from DMs.
That's basically it. Oh, that's in the room. Let me get in. You joined the room. The repo to clone and all the code is on that room. If you need any help, just show hands and Grégory will come around and help you. Yes, I will in a second. Yeah.
With the
Okay. But how this? So good? Okay.
So Nils will follow the same step as you on the screen. If you get blocked somewhere, just have a look.
You're good, right? Yeah, so just for the people maybe only, so it's a little silent here at the moment because everybody's setting things up. You can actually just create your account on Metrics, on this website, on metrics.org. We all use, I think all use Element as a client. And if you go to metrics.org and then try Metrics, and there's a link to create your account with a nice introduction, even some screenshots. And if you want to join us, then feel free to do so. And as I said, it would be really nice to have 2 accounts because you don't want to make the bot talk through your own personal account. That's not advisable.
So yeah, if you created your account, you need to, and you want to enter the room without the QR code, you will need to click on Explore Public Rooms. And then you will see, can you click on Explore Public Rooms? No, it's not the client. So you click on Explore Public Rooms, and then there is a really small select box with looking for metrics.org. You click on it and you click Add a server, and you select ubuntu.com. Because by default, it will look for public rooms in metrics.org, but the room here is in our Ubuntu room.
Yeah. Yep. The repo is on the topic of the room, I hope. Yeah. But I can pull it up here, I think. Yeah, right. You should follow those instructions. It's basically on the repo, on the README. You can do that, yeah.
The link is a bit longer.
Yeah. So this is a repo. You can have it in the topic of our room. And basically the instructions, it's mostly copy and paste with, I mean, there's maybe one step where you have to change something yourself maybe, but that's all. And you can basically just copy paste that, I think. We tested it a few times and it worked, so we'll see. So basically you set up a virtual Python environment. I went with Ubuntu here because Ubuntu Summit, but in general, every distribution should work. The package list you have to install first here could be a little different, but probably almost the same name. And then we set up the environment. Activate this environment, install the Maubot package. And then there is actually only one config file we have to take care of today, and that may be if you are on another home server, one that is not listed here. Then you would have to add a few lines to that config to log into that home server. And after that, it's really already time to start your bot, and you can go to this URL, and it should open a nice web interface, I hope, for everybody. And that will look like this. Yeah, so as you see, there are three basic layers, the plugins, the client, and the instances of your plugins. We will probably start with one client and with our demo project plugin. That's one at the bottom, the Summit Workshop bot. That's the repository that's linked there too. And the client one you have to create with the bot account you made. So you connect it there. The commands are also in the README. And after that setup, you just start an instance of your plugin with a client. I think it should show that here. Yeah. So this is where it all really comes together. You choose the user on the left, one of your clients you connected, and you choose which plugin you want to start. And then you just basically fire it up, and it should be ready to go. Okay, so just as a status, is anybody there yet at the interface or not? Not so much, right? Yeah? Okay, so we just wait, and then I'll continue with the code.
That's probably where. Yeah, go on if you're visual.
This is the only config file I talked about that you have to actually change. As I said, I set up for the home server part. There are 2 home servers already set up to use. The Ubuntu Com and matrix.ort are actually just aliases to use on the command line. And you associate the actual home server URL at the URL part. So if you're in any other home server, you would have to add your own to that part to use the bot. And yeah, then there is the admin login. This should be the hash for the password admin. That's the default, but not to worry. It starts only on localhost by default. So for this workshop, you should be kind of safe. Yeah, then it has some features you can turn on and off, but that's really all default here. We can get to that later when needed, but I don't think so. You should set plugins to true probably, because without the plugin, nothing will work. So, do we have any bots in here already? Did anyone already join? No? Okay. Wait.
Okay. Yeah, so you're using linked. Anyone. That the two are linked. And get a token.
Oh,
Build the bot.
yeah. I can change that if you want.
You need to run the comments. So that the first one you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Ah, yeah, okay. Then credentials. So this is depending if you have an SSO account or a normal account. I think you create a normal account for.
Yeah, on my.
So you need to put your username here, and after dash P, you need to put the password.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, the password behind, but since there's special
Okay, Lucy just told me that it was not able to invite people to the room. That was not great because you want your bots in there, but should be fixed. Got a thumbs up already, so should work.
it was doing when doing the pip install.
Try to.
Nils? Nils?
Yep.
Do you know if the Maubot library is available on Windows? No?
I would hope yes. I have
I would
tried
say
it to
so.
be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
But maybe some WSL would fix it on Windows if you.
Might be.
But it's in the usual Pi repositories, so it should work. Not yet. So I'll just start with the basic code here, maybe. Hope we get some bots in there soon. Lucy, did you start the plugin already? Just because you're my first test user here. Hey, let me see. Yeah, okay, but the plugin is started and running. And if you go to the Python.
because you can register with that. So the address will be.
But this one. Nice. So we already. Oh, Amanda got it too. Nice. But we have to debug that because actually the welcome command doesn't work. But you can try your hello command when you join there. Awesome.
Normal account.
Okay. Something strange about this welcome command. It's the most basic one in the whole code and it doesn't work. But okay. Okay, everything else is working. It's strange, but okay. So, if we already have some people in the room, maybe we can just get through the basic stuff of this Python code. Everybody a little bit familiar with Python? Yes, I hope, because without any knowledge, this could get a little hard. Okay. Yeah, what you basically do is you define your class type plugin, and that's the one that's also in the config YAML. No, the Maubot YAML up down there, if you can check that too. That describes what your module name is, your main module name is, and also the name of that class in your plugin. And if you just name it correctly, it will just work. So if you just want to use your own plugin, you can pretty much copy-paste this and just change the class name with the plugin name a little, and that should be all. Yeah, as you can see, the first function here is the hello world function. You define the Maubot stuff that does stuff for you with the add command new. There, I will show up the documentation for that a little bit later. There's some nice options you can go in there. And yeah, basically this should work because it just defines the command and should reply with that message to your command. But I actually haven't really, because it shouldn't be an argument, it's just a command. But I'll check that in a minute. Okay, yeah, then there is the hello command, is the next one you see. And then you have the addition to the command new. You can also add arguments, and you can dynamically assign arguments if they are required or optional. You found it? Oh, 1 second, 1 second. I'm sure you did. here for a second.
So you need to replace your username with username. it in the room, but once you're in the room, you need to invite the bots.
Actually in writing.
Okay, so show of hands. Everybody okay with the general bot joins? Yeah? Okay. So yeah, the hello command should work. And I mean, that's of course the hello world example, like just react to my event. That's really basic. It gets fun when you interact with other APIs and stuff, of course, to make it more interesting. That's why down here, scroll down a little bit, I added a simple weather command that uses some website and pulls the weather from that web service and gives out the weather with some nice icons. So you can actually try weather, or then that's another feature. You can use WTTR as an alias. You can define aliases for your commands. Hi. And yeah, so we can try that out if you want. We can flood the channel a little bit, like weather The Hague, or so for example. We can see if that works.
I can help you with.
Okay, so can anyone try the command if you are in there, just to see if that's actually working? Yeah, okay. Oh, even my help message worked. Nice, okay. Didn't test that actually. Oh yeah, now we're getting some stuff here. Yeah. Ah, that's okay. I think now we all know the weather here. That's fine. So yeah, that was about I was talking about earlier with the API stuff where it gets fun. And this is a basic example because you just put in your web service, you get back some JSON, you pass your JSON, and then you basically do the same with the test message and just print it out. This case, it was a little bit complicated because I needed to find the name of the city, like the real name of the city. But that's not part of the JSON output, so I had to do 2 calls. So scroll down a little, you can see them. There we are. Yeah, so the first call really just gets the city name. And then we do a second call, and then we kind of pass that JSON stuff for the information we need. And it actually puts out some nice icons, and I was just happy to see that they all worked in the metrics output. So there must be some UTF-8 style emojis that just work. Okay. We get a little show of hands if everybody is able to do the weather command. Everybody at that point already? Okay. No, not yet. Yeah, okay. That works, okay. You need help, okay.
Very quickly, with the requested HTTP, that should be 1.1, I think, right?
Yes, should be.
Yeah, well, it's
Oh. We have some smaller German cities here, but okay. Nice. Okay. Okay, so then I'll just switch over to my other project from here because we covered all basic commands we wanted to try here. Okay, and actually, that's how I started. I read the Getting Started guide, but then also there was this website with the collection of Maubot plugins. I think you can actually submit your own one if you have built something different. The GitHub URL is there with all the code, and they already have some really nice basic plugins you can try, like a dice game or the GitHub plugin is quite nice, it works. There are some questionable ones like exec that executes code from your machine. Little sketchy, but okay. There's a reminder bot, and yeah, a lot of cool stuff actually that you can try out, and it also shows some of the features that it has. So I was curious, okay, but that's a nice feature, but how does it work? So I just cloned the repo and checked the code, and you can learn a lot from that stuff, actually. Actually, the RSS plugin you find on the lower left here is exactly the one that Ubuntu uses. So I just copy-pasted that, actually. And it worked just fine. So let's just check if Ubuntu is actually in the room. I hope so. Yes, it is. Okay. So with Ubuntu, and that's just an extension of the web APIs, really. Communicates with my little Django backend to do most of the stuff. Ulrika, okay. Is it a one-line fix I can just see from your computer? Okay. So. Yeah, actually we can do maybe we can try the live fixing right now. But we can have to switch to the other repo again. Yeah, awesome, okay.
Nils?
Yeah.
Can you have a look here?
Yeah, well, 1 second, I'll be with you. Okay. Wait. Okay, I'll just put this over here and I'll check with you in a second. Okay, so just the reason why our simple command didn't work, Lucy found out that we defined the same function name twice here. So if you just go to the first line here with the definition of the command and you just change the definition of the function from hello world to welcome and upload your plugin, it should work. So that was it. Okay, so what's wrong here?
It's over here. It started right here. Do you want me to restart it?
We have that fixed. Now I will just quickly put up our Ubuntu script, maybe. Okay, maybe I should also share the repository. Okay, so we can have a quick look at Ubuntu maybe. The repositories, the other one I have to guess, I think it's this one. And Ubuntu is, the main repository is basically just the commands, and most of the functionality is hidden in the Ubuntu web project, because I use the same stuff as with the weather. I just call the API usually and get some stuff back, because I didn't really want to blow up the main bot repository, and I can use the API with any service, so I thought it would be a nice idea to split that up. There's a lot of stuff in here. If you want to check it out, there's, for example, what's really, really nice to have. I think it's its own Python file on the left. That's the flood protection stuff. I'm not sure if you want to explain the whole code in there. It's not that much. But it's really nice to have a flood protection for your bot, because if you have a public room and people start just flooding the room with commands, it's usually not a good idea. It also has functionalities like the first function you see here, and that goes a little bit deeper in the metrics protocol, but yeah, you can mostly copy-paste it, but it makes sure that you actually have the right power level in the room. That, for example, only as a moderator in the room, you can do certain commands, like, for example, adding an RSS feed, of course, is a moderator command. Not everybody in your room should just add RSS feeds to your room. But then the get RSS feed command, for example, again, can be public again. Same with like the can manage one down there. Yeah, that actually just queries everybody in the room, the state of it, gets the room state, and then decides if you are allowed to do that. I will show you some commands in a second that use that, I hope. If I remember one. 1 second. Actually try one of these commands. It should be like, I hope it's moderators. Maybe it was just mods. Yes, it was mods. So this looks like a simple message. To you, it's probably just a normal text message in white color or whatever your normal text color, right? I don't have it up. In your the message that Ubuntu just posted, is it just a normal text message to you with white text? Should be, okay. And I can put it up. So here's 1 second. Where did I hide my element? Here. Yeah, so as you can see, to me, this one is red, actually. And that's because Matrix does not only have text messages, you can add a lot of parameters and arguments to such a message. And in this case, because I'm a moderator in this room, I'm mentioned in this message, actually, and I'm pinged. So I have a highlight on my client. So if someone calls for the moderators in the room, this is how it happens, usually. And I can probably also open the, if you click on the message and click on view source, be available for everybody in Element, I think. But probably. You can see the JSON of that message, actually. Yeah, click on the message, the 3 dots, and then view source. Second. It's a little hard to navigate from here. Yeah, like this. Okay, so in this case, the body is easy, right? The context is just the message. Format is HTML. You could do this in a text message too, but somehow I chose HTML. Fine. And then you see the extra portion here, the mentions part, and that's what actually does the highlighting for you. So this is the list of all the moderators. The bot checks the moderators, puts it in that message, and then everybody's highlighted in that message. And for this, you actually only need to know the Matrix SDK stuff that's in the functions in the bot that just gets admins and moderators and gets you a list of those people. Okay. And then there's also some other stuff that does some external APIs again. Let me find that. Yeah, nice new command. Who did that? Hands up. Who did the Ubuntu release command? Okay. Nobody wants to tell. That's fine. So we have this message, and I have to check if I have the URL open somewhere. Yes, cool. Yeah, so this is our other moderator cry for help command that actually shows the people that are in there. If you should not do that every day, just call out the whole Matrix Council, but the command exists. And this is highlighted me, of course, too, and my name is highlighted, and this time you actually see all the people that are in the Matrix Council. Of course, Matrix itself does not know who is in the Ubuntu Matrix Council at the moment. And for that, it just calls a Launchpad API. There is, if you are working with Ubuntu, there is a plugin, a Python plugin for Launchpad. You have to actually change one line in the config file, I can show you in a second, because by default, Python does not include any modules that are installed externally, like with an apt package. So it wouldn't find it by default, you have to enable that, but it's just a one line really. And I can show you what happens behind the scenes here with this command to get to Launchpad. I added this command to the Ubuntu web project I added on GitHub. And that actually just calls this URL on my web service. You can use that to try other Launchpad groups or other API calls. It's cached, it does not hammer any external endpoints, so you can do whatever you like. And this actually just looks up Launchpad. The name is Matrix Council on there, and you get a nice list of the people in that group. And I also added another module based on that because I thought, hey, that's cool because I know the people now that I can give access to. So I have a little plugin called Room Admin. That's in my repo too, maybe. I'll have to check. And that actually just checks periodically of people joining from the Ubuntu home server to this room. And for example, if you are a member of that group on Launchpad, you automatically get moderator status. So you can kind of manage your access control a little bit with this. Yes. Is anyone interested in the Launchpad stuff? Not sure. Probably Lucy, yeah, but anyone else? Not? Okay, then I can show you the Launchpad stuff specifically, maybe that's fine. If everybody's just playing around with their bots, that's fine. Okay, then we can check what other stuff we have here, maybe, in the API stuff. Nice. Power levels. We can show, maybe. Oh yeah, maybe you can just implement your own time zone thing. If you know the API endpoint I can show you, you can do that probably pretty fast. Yeah. So if you want to use a little command maybe that just, you can pretty much use a lot of the stuff that's used for the weather stuff. It's just another URL really, and it's less to pass, so it should be easy. So if you just use this example of my API and you just use, and you enter any other city, it should give you some nice JSON output, and you can maybe just implement your own time command if you want to, for example. Is the URL readable from here or not so much? I can. No, okay. Try to put that somewhere else too. Let's put it in the room. Yeah, so you have it in the room now. You can play around with it if you like. We only have 10 minutes left. Are there any, maybe you could start with some general questions you maybe have? Something you might, how to add something? Do you have something on your mind that you want to add to your bot and how you do it maybe? If you have some, maybe it's interesting for everybody if you have some. Oh, no, everybody's busy. That's fine too. So we just keep going. Oh, yeah, thank you. Good, yeah, almost forgot about that. The spam stuff was, we really had to act pretty fast because they were posting some really ugly pictures in our community rooms. You don't want to see them, so let's not get into details there. But we had to find something to block them. And the first one was just to detect a lot of spam pictures in a certain time and just remove them. That's the first step. If you post too many pictures, doesn't matter what, it just redacts the messages and they're gone. And I also found an external web service that checks the contents of the pictures and classifies them, and you get some nice tags about what's on that picture, and based on those tags, you can actually then redact the pictures. Maybe I can have the code somewhere. I'm not sure if the Fedora and KDE people use the bot too now. I don't know. I just sent them the code. So if they wanted to, they could try it. Close folder. Now let me find if I can find a project here.
On my side. Account.
Not sure it's on my GitHub yet, but you should be able to get there on my own here. It's not on GitHub yet. I will publish that later. There's nothing secret in it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, we have some of those nasty tags here, actually. That's just another plugin, so you can rename your main plugin class, load it, and add it to your bot. You can start as many plugins as you like in one bot. And those are the table of the blocked labels. From the descriptions, you already see that it was some bad pictures. The detection actually is not perfect, far from perfect actually, because for the last days, some people posted some normal pictures from around here with people on it. And if they just saw a pair of jeans from behind, that's always detected as buttocks covered. But we don't ban those pictures, but we always get a notification in the Summit, internal Summit room, and it's, But we just ignore that by now. I have to probably just remove that, but it really doesn't make sense. I have to go down a little for the actual code of that. That's something we didn't do so far. You can provide a config file. That's if you go to your plugin, there should be a box with where you can add some YAML, I think, YAML formatted config file. And that's where you can probably, did anyone supply any of the other plugins yet, like RSS or anything from the default stuff? No, okay. They always come with a default config that usually defines like admins that are allowed to do stuff or which rooms should the bot react to and some stuff, so you can do that. And there are also some nice actually commands to dynamically update that config file for revisions of the new config file. If you add something to your code, you can call a function, it will update that YAML section, so it can get more complex by code actually. Yeah, then this is a little bit specific, like the concurrent jobs, for example, just is how many jobs in the background run to scan those images to the external API service. And we have to go image data. Yeah, that's down there. We have to go a little bit further. Is there something interesting happening already? Yeah. Okay. So this. This is. It's a little bit top down. So this already actually handles the image itself. So you react to an image event. So every time an image event happens in your room, you can catch that by code, and that you can push all the data in such a function, and you can do all kinds of stuff with that. For example, the first one at the top. Actually checks for the spamming. That just finds out when was the last time someone posted a picture, and if the interval is too low and it detected as spam, that will be redacted later. And that if in the length of the user image data that already has some multiple events in it and pictures, and it goes through all of them. And then calls this redact function. That's the actually interesting one, but it's a little further down. We'll get there. And you already see that if it's flooding and detected as flood, you get too many pictures, and it just blocks the whole event, and you don't get the picture. It's redacted then. I think the one with the current one is actually just like a fallback, but because somehow the first image somehow wasn't part of that loop, so I had to manually redact the last one again. But I'm not sure why. It was some weeks ago. I don't remember actually. As I said, it had to happen pretty fast. The next thing is just the processing and going through everything. Create matrix URL is really easy. That actually just creates, from the room name, creates a clickable matrix URL. So if you get the message from the bot that something happened, you can just click on it with an URL. That's all that does. And let's process images. Maybe that's interesting. Let's see. But we are almost out of time, so anyone wants to stick around somewhere here, we can get into the anti-spam stuff. If you're interested in that already, we can do some example stuff maybe too, but it's a little bit too late for now. I almost missed the time. So thank you very much, and if you want, we can continue together bots if you still want to go outside somewhere. Thank you.